Hello and welcome to Boot Room Chat, your weekly catch-up with the biggest names in women's football. And I'm delighted to say that this week we've got an international feel about the programme. We are joined by two people from over the pond. I'm delighted to say that Seattle Reigns' Jess Fishlock and Emily Zurrer are with us today. Hi girls, how are you?
Hi.
Hey.
Thank you very much for joining us. Obviously you're ready preparing for tonight's game, the home opener against Kansas. You must be both really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think we're both super excited. It's the first time that we actually get to play at home. We've been on the road since season started. We had preseason in Japan, and then we had 3 games on the road right off the bat. So we're super excited to play at home in Seattle tonight.
And as you said, two away trips to start. Looking forward to a home crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what I was just going to say. That the 3 games away have been really tough, and the travelling is a lot, and it takes a lot out of you. So, we get the extra training sessions now. We're home for a bit, and to get the crowd behind us, it might be a perfect scenario for us to get the win that we deserve, I think, and that we need.
As you said, Jess, a couple of draws and a defeat in the opening couple of games of the season, but a really positive start, a lot to build on. You hoping that tonight's home game can be that kick-off and that win you're looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't really got the results that we've wanted, but I don't think it's for us not playing well or anything like that. We just need a little bit of luck maybe, and something to go our way. And either of those games we could have got a win out of, and that's something that we firmly believe in. So we're not worried or anything like that, but we're just hoping that maybe the crowd is what gives us the luck today that we need.
And Emily, a couple of your Canadian colleagues in the Kansas team, Bez, I know, playing over there. What are you expecting from Kansas tonight?
Kansas is a really great team. I think they're probably the best team that we faced in our first 3 games, and we played them our last game too, so it's kind of a back-to-back game. And we know that they're going to come out and they're going to keep the ball on the ground and they're going to dictate the play. But I think what we have to do now is just focus on how we play against them and focus on our game and not worry too much about how they're going to play against us. And I think that we're starting to click. Things are coming together a lot better in practice. Each week is better and better, and we're really looking forward to tonight's game, and we just need to get the result. No matter how it happens, we just need to get a few points out of this game tonight.
Absolutely, and it looks like a nice day there. So the weather's good in Seattle. It must be treating you well.
Yeah, it's gorgeous today. It's super nice out. We would rather be outside than in here talking to you, but no, I'm just kidding.
What can you do?
What can you do?
I completely understand, and it's pitch black out here. Well, we're at 11:30 at night, so likewise, I'd rather be in bed than talking to you. So there we go.
Touché.
I'm only kidding. No, so I mean, how is life in Seattle for the pair of you? Obviously, coming from 2 very different places, living together in Seattle. How's it been?
Great. Best roomie ever.
These Canadians love the fact that they've met a Welsh person, I'm telling you. Their life in Seattle would not be the same if I was not involved in it. So
it wouldn't.
Don't listen to whatever
we would be cooking less, we'd be cleaning up for her less, we'd be driving less places.
And Emily, how are you getting on with that Welsh accent? You understanding everything that Jess is saying?
Oh my gosh, no. I understand 25% of what she says, maybe. We call her mumbles because not only does she mumble, but she has a Welsh accent, so it's like 2 negatives. It's so difficult to understand her.
To be honest,
start getting write me notes.
To be honest, 2 years of her in Bristol, I didn't understand the words she was saying. So you're not the only one.
Not even that Welsh. So.
You're not even that Welsh. And I suppose not only getting used to the Welsh accent, but getting used to the Brummie accent with Coach Laura Harvey as well. How's that going for you?
It's okay. It's getting better, I think. I think she's like a little bit easier to understand than Jess, but it's fun. We love having them on our team because we get to practice our English accents, which I think are really coming along quite nicely.
Well, come on then. Let's hear it. We want to hear the accent.
Hang on now. With the accent, surely it's either got to be a Welsh one or a Brummie one. It can't be a London one because no one's from London over here that you live with or know.
What?
So you can only do Brum or Welsh.
Okay, well, I don't know what Brom is, and this is the only Welsh person I've ever met, so I have to stick with my London accent, which, I think is pretty good. I don't know.
Give it a go.
Come on, let's hear it.
Okay, what do you want me to say?
I reckon you must have a routine there ready for us. Good to go. Come on.
Okay. You hear that?
She's done this before.
It was getting ready for it. This is prepared, I can tell.
Okay. Hello, Governor. Would you like some tea and crumpets with Harry Potter and myself down at the Birmingham station?
That was brilliant. That was very good. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
Right, Jess, Canadian accent.
Oh, no.
Yeah, let's hear this.
No, I can't do right. Speak a minute. Let me get you speaking. Say something.
Hi, I'm Jessica, and I have blonde hair, and I love shopping and pink.
Pink. Okay. I'll do an American one. All right, and I'm just gonna say something that Laura Harvey says. I would say at least 20 times a day. Okay.
You have to say more than one word.
No, I can't. Just all she says is one word. So all Laura does is she goes, "Hello, drama,
Drama, totally,
dramatic.
What up?"
Oh, that's well, I think full marks to the pair of you for those accents. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
And talking about Laura, Jess, how's it been working with Laura? Obviously, you've seen a lot of her when she was over here in the Super League with Arsenal, but a chance to to work with her properly for the first time. How's that going?
No, yeah, really good. Like I said, I've never worked with her before, and people over here seem to think that I had done. But obviously, just played against her really when she was at Arsenal. So I think she has a philosophy, and you can see that with the way that she got Arsenal to play and how she wants us to do. And luckily for me, it's a philosophy that I can relate to. I kind of like, so that always helps. But her as a coach, I think she's brilliant. She's probably one of the best ones that I've had the pleasure of working with anyway, and that's only after a short period. So I'm really looking forward to continually working with her for the rest of the season, because not only am I getting better, I'm learning. I'm still learning, and she's helping me learn. And I think that's key, and that's always what you want to do to develop as a player. And you need that from your coach, and that's definitely something that Laura brings. Absolutely.
And Emily, from your point of view, working with obviously John, a British coach with the Canadian national side, and now another British coach in Laura, do you see a different style in coaching in the kind of the European way of playing football to perhaps you've been used to previously, or is it very much kind of as you're expecting?
Yeah, I definitely see a difference, and I mean, I love John. I think he's an amazing coach, and Laura, you can see a lot of similarities. I think a lot of their philosophies and just the way they see the game and the way they set up for the game is very similar. And I think I don't know, I think it was an easier transition being able to work with John for about a year and then coming to Laura, because they do have a lot of similar qualities. And I think Laura's been amazing for our team. She's one of the best I've had, and she really knows how to, I just love her demeanor with the team. She knows how to have fun, but when it's time to work, she really knows how to work, and she can really get the best out of us. So I think it's been great so far.
And then looking ahead to the rest of the season, what are the hopes for Seattle? Obviously, it's a new club, new league, lots of, in these early stages, lots of teams finding out a bit about each other. What's the hope for the team? What are we looking for?
Well, I think, it's everyone's aim. Everyone who's in our league has to think that they can get a top four finish. And that is without a doubt what we're looking for. We're looking to get in the playoffs, and then hopefully to go through there and then to get to the final. And, I think it's a realistic game without a shadow of a doubt. I know we've played 3 and we've not got a result that we wanted, but it's so early on in the league. And when I say, I don't just say this for the fun of it, but I'm like, any team in this league can beat any team in this league. That's just the way that it is, the way that the draft's been done and the allocation. Each team is very strong, and it just depends on that day how less mistakes you make, you win the game. And that proved last week, I felt, against Kansas. We were probably had equal, if not more, possession, and we made 2 mistakes, and they scored 2 goals. That was it. And I think that that's just the way that the league's going to go. So as long as we can clean up a few things, hopefully sooner rather than later, then, I have no doubt that we'll go on a little run, and then we'll shoot right up the league and finish where we want to finish. So that's game, I think.
Well, let's hope that starts tonight and that home opener versus Kansas. Now, looking ahead internationally, the World Cup draw took place a couple of weeks ago. Wales have been drawn alongside England, Ukraine, Belarus, Turkey and Montenegro, obviously for a place in 2015 in Canada, and we'll come on to talk about a little bit about that again in a minute. What do you make of that group, Jess, in terms of from a Welsh point of view?
I think it's I think nowadays each group is a difficult group nowadays in women's football. There's no easy game, unless you get to hold the World Cup, and then you can just have a cup of tea until the finals come. Hey?
Oh, what?
But yeah, I think there's a lot of traveling that we have to do to places that you probably are not the best places to go. You'd rather go somewhere else. But I think everyone's going to be talking about the game against England, so I'm not going to just ignore that. That's going to be a massive game for us. They're the top seed. England are a great side. You can't deny that. But I'm quietly confident with our chances. I don't think that it's a foregone conclusion that England are going to win the group, and that's something that I honestly believe. But we've just got to focus on us and not waste our time and our preparation worrying about the likes of England and Ukraine. We've just got to focus on us, and we've come far. I think everyone saw that with our Euro campaign. So yeah, I'm pleasantly happy with the group. But that's not me saying I think it's easy, because I don't. But it's definitely one that I feel we can do well in. 110%.
Of course, and I think that fair to say that Wales really developing as a national team. You've got players playing week in, week out at the highest level over in the Women's Super League, and really starting to make an impact in the Super League as well. You look back to your former club Bristol, Tash Harding, Anne Harrod, Ellie Curzon, some of those players coming through there, and the quality of the likes of Helen Ward and others throughout the league. There's a really strong side now that you've got at Wales. And do you think you are literally just coming to this point now where you're 1 or 2 games away from a major European tournament and actually a major World Cup tournament as well?
Yeah, I actually believe that. I've been in the Welsh setup for many years now, and there was a time where we were playing games and we felt that we were so far away from any major tournament that it got quite. It just kind of got you down a little bit, because you just thought, you haven't got a chance here. But now I honestly do believe that we've got a chance to qualify for a major tournament, whether it be the Euros, whether it be the World Cup. I generally do, and I think it's a belief throughout our squad, and that's mainly down to the belief that Yarmo gives us. But I think, like I said, you only have to look at our Euro campaign, and we were one game off getting to the qualifiers, and no one would have put us in that situation. And now I think everyone kind of is kind of seeing the fact that Wales are now a side to kind of be worried about. And when they're playing, it's not going to be an easy game. It's going to be a difficult game, and you have to be at your best, because otherwise, like you said, we've got Wardy, who's a goal scorer for fun, and Harrod and Tash and Lauren and Gwen, and we've got such a good core. And then we've got good youngsters coming through, and if we can just keep building on that, then there's no reason why we can't qualify to a major tournament.
And obviously the prize up for grabs is a place at the World Cup in Canada in 2015. Emily, how big is that going to be for women's football in Canada to have that opportunity to host a major tournament like the World Cup?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, women's football, soccer as we call it, in Canada has always been... It's always been big, not on a huge scale like in Europe by any means, and not quite at the same scale as in America. But I think after this Olympic Games in London, it's really gone to a whole nother level. And I think the success that we had took a big part in that. People, took notice of our team, and I think registration numbers in Canada tripled in numbers after that tournament. And so I think leading into the next World Cup, it's just a huge opportunity. Playing in any World Cup is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and to be able to have the chance to do it in your own country, I think is so exciting for all of us. And we're just really excited that it's going to be able to be a dream come true.
Of course, and obviously you mentioned it there, the Olympics over here in London, and obviously congratulations once again on that bronze medal, an absolutely superb achievement for Canada. Good round of applause there. Thanks, Jess. A huge achievement for the entire squad, and absolutely deserved. You know, look at the way that Canada played during that Olympics, and I don't think anybody would argue against the fact that fully deserved to be in those medal positions. Coming into the Olympics, did you as a squad feel that was capable, or was it a little bit, as a surprise to yourselves? How did that come about? Did you feel?
Sorry, the sun's like in my face. I'm just gonna shift a bit. Yeah, we had come off the previous year, the World Cup. We had about 6 months of residence before that. We had been together as a team. The core group had been together, and we were feeling super confident before the World Cup. I think we were the highest ranking that we'd been. We were 6th in the world, I think, before. So we had a really high expectations. The country had high expectations. We felt like we had the weight of the country on our shoulders. And going into that game, we completely bombed the tournament. We got out in the first round. We didn't win a game. And I think after that, we were all just so devastated. We were all at a low point in our careers, and John came in and kind of took over, and he really was hugely instrumental in turning this team around, not only physically but mentally too, because after that tournament we were crushed mentally. And to look back then and think of us standing on the podium a year from then, probably not a lot of people, even including some of ourselves, wouldn't have thought it was possible. So I think he was huge in that whole year leading up to London. And I think before London, we were confident. We knew that, we had been in that position before, that we were confident heading into a tournament, and it hadn't really gone our way. But I think this was different. I think we were the most connected as a team that I've ever been a part of, from top to bottom, staff to players to everyone involved in the team. We were so tight-knit, and I think he really prepared us for that tournament more so than any other coach. We kind of had planned these scenarios that could happen throughout the team. Injuries had happened, refereeing had happened, just a whole bunch of different scenarios that we had plans for, and it was funny because they all ended up happening, but we were able to overcome all of them because we were prepared. And I feel like it kind of just worked out. That tournament was kind of a once-in-a-lifetime experience, the way it all happened. It seemed like everything almost happened for a reason, and I think John was a huge part of that.
Yeah, I think that over here in England, John's stock and the appreciation of John is really starting to rise. You only got to go around the grounds and people are sort of looking to John and thinking, is he going to be the next England manager, and is it somebody that England would potentially go after? And I think when you see what he's done with Canada and the position that he's taken you guys into the world, you can see exactly why people over here are starting to talk about it. But then you've got to look at, potentially, he probably thinks that the job that he's got with Canada at the moment is an unfinished business there in the 2015 World Cup, an opportunity to really make a mark with the Canadian national team in a home World Cup. Is almost another once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So it's something I'm sure we'll all be keeping our eye on over the next couple of years. We want to talk a little bit more about your Seattle teammates now. I want to find out a little bit more about the side which I think most of Britain is starting to adopt as their NWSL team. I think that a few late nights, certainly a few late nights, and plenty of people on Twitter that I see with the hashtag Let It Rain. So we want to find out a little bit more.
I want to say that I think that my initial first tweet started Let It Rain. I'm just going to put that out there. And I wish I had copyrighted it because...
When was this? When was it? I'll see it and then I'll believe it.
Yeah, I just want to point that out.
Yeah, so you're taking full credit for hashtag Let It Rain.
Taking full credit, and I've no doubt that when my brother watches this, he'll say that he was the one that scripted my tweets, and so he will.
Does he script all your tweets? Or all your funny tweets? I'm sure your brother.
Right, so we're going to ask you a couple of questions now about your teammates, so you can have a little conflab between you, decide who you think is best suited to each question. Honest answers, don't hold back. First of all,
are they going to be watching this?
Yeah, well, exactly. And if any of the players are watching this, who you stitch up, we want to hear from them. We want to hear their views as well. So, who's best trainer?
Best trainer.
just trying to think.
You say me, I'll say you.
I'm gonna say
I'm gonna say her.
Yeah.
I can see how this is going to go. Okay, right. Worst, and I could see potentially a quite a good one for this one as well. No names mentioned. Worst dress sense.
Dress sense.
Oh, I'm gonna. Oh, sorry.
Well, our coaches.
Yeah.
Our coaches.
Can we pick a coach?
You got to go halves.
Absolutely.
Does not come out of Seattle rain attire.
I've seen her in normal clothes once, and it was like we had to take pictures to document it because it was the first time I've ever seen it.
Honestly, it's as if the way that the tracksuits are made, it looks like she's in a Seattle rain onesie at all times throughout her Seattle rain career right now.
I think she might sleep in it, actually. That thing never comes off.
So, yeah.
You're going Laura Harvey, worst dress sense.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Right. Biggest moaner. Should we move on?
The roomy KK is by far the biggest moaner.
Yeah, we were hopeful that Kaylin was going to be joining us, but when saying she's having a nap before the game tonight, so we're not gonna disturb her. But if she does wander in, we'll definitely try and get her in on this because we need to give her the opportunity to tell us what she thinks of you two. I think.
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, but she's not moving on for that.
Yeah,
she's the worst moaner.
Right, least intelligent.
Ooh, that's a tough question.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of setting us up here. What if they see this?
It's okay.
Least intelligent.
They'll probably accept. I'm just gonna go for it. Lars has got to be up there.
Lars is funny.
Lars has got to go up there.
She's pretty hilarious. Who else has some funny comments? We all have our blonde moments, I'd say. But least intelligent, probably this girl named Jessica Fishlock.
No chance. I'm not taking that. I'm gonna go with Larson, our striker, for sure. She comes out with.
She's got some good one-liners.
Beauties.
Yeah, she's got some good ones.
Some beauties, telling you.
This one's slightly kinder. Most intelligent. Who's the brainy one of the squad? you claiming that, Fishlock?
No, I think Kristen Meyer is actually really brainy.
Yeah,
and Lindsay Taylor.
Yeah,
I think those two are like closet brains. They both were like aeronautical engineering majors. I just completely made that up.
And to be fair, Kristen Meyer made one hell of a bonfire the other night.
Oh my gosh!
Nothing. Like we were like, oh, how do we kind of get a fire? And she just went boom.
I think she was in Girl Scouts growing up or something because she was.
Yeah,
she knows how to make a mean fire
for sure.
Right, we're taking her off on that one. Okay, worst driver.
Oh my god, that was the easiest question. Okay. This girl, you would think, has never been behind the steering wheel ever. She drove into oncoming traffic the other day, stopped at a stoplight, didn't even realize it. We're like, Jess, you're in the wrong lane. She was tweeting. She had stopped in the wrong lane and was tweeting. So I think Jessica takes the cake, hands down. And
Jess, anything to say to that?
What I will say is that I was relying on directions from these two Canadians, and they were awful.
Did you want us to keep you in the right lane? Is that
awful.
That's the direction.
I'm just going to just say this one thing that she was driving yesterday, and we were pulling off, and we didn't know what junction to get off. So she went over, couldn't get over, ended up swerving and just stopping in the middle until going over. So,
but did they make the exit?
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
thank you. And I stayed in the right lane.
Okay, Jess Fishlock, you get definitely the title of worst driver. Who's most skillful?
Skillful on the pitch?
Yeah.
Do you want to say who's most skillful off?
I was going to say, we'll hold that for the next question. Most skillful on the pitch. I want to know who's most skillful off the pitch.
Okay.
On the pitch, I would say Jess.
Oh.
She's paying me to say that.
Yeah.
You can write me a check later. Skillful. We've got some pretty skillful players out there. Jess is skillful. We've got Lou Barnes. She's
good.
She's good on the ball.
Yeah, Narn,
Christine Narn. Yeah, she's skillful.
Yeah.
Both are goalkeepers, the most skillful players you'll ever see.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
No. Good selection.
If we were joking.
They've got their goalkeeper skills.
No, we've got some ballers on our side.
Mm-hmm.
We have.
Got a few ballers.
We'll share that one out.
Have you got a good singer? Best singer in the squad?
We've got a rapper. Boom! Have you not heard our official song? Seattle Rain.
Seattle Rain. Yes, we have heard it. We heard it. We love it.
Lady Spitz.
Yeah.
We are mega impressed with that, and
How good is it?
It's very good. And which got us thinking. Obviously, with the Portland game a couple of weeks ago, one of their players sang the national anthem. So we want to know: are either of you two fancy singing the national anthem tonight? Before the home opener versus Kansas, because a few guys from Seattle are watching this and they've said if either of you are up for it, then they can make it happen.
I would love to sing the national anthem, but I'm pretty sure everyone would leave the stadium if I was the one singing the national anthem.
Imagine if I come out with the Welsh national anthem, Lee. Everyone would be like, what the hell is this?
If I sang, we would have to pay people to stay in that stadium, so I don't think that's the best idea, but I would love to sing it.
But yeah, if people haven't seen the Seattle Rain song, they absolutely have to. We'll post a link to it later. It's someone crashed through the doors. Like someone's breaking in. Do you need to stop? Do you need to? Do we need to be worried about this? Or is it all good?
No, if you don't hear from us, then maybe you should be worried.
Yeah, that's okay. Taking a bit of a sour note, isn't it? Okay, and then on to some questions from Twitter now. We put out earlier that we were going to speak to you guys, and we've had loads of questions in. So first one is, if you could have any other female player in the world join Seattle, who would it be?
Interesting. That's a good question.
It's a great question.
That's a good question. I would have to go with my teammate on the national team, Christine Sinclair.
Big enough that Canada over here, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if you're going to pick a Canadian,
not biased.
I'm going to pick a Welsh. Wow, I'm going to go with Abelie, French Abelie. I'm sorry, she is one of my favourite players.
Abelie, yeah. I think two good players you could have joining that team there. I mean, you mentioned Christine Sinclair there, Emily. How much of a surprise was it? I mean, she to the whole of the Canadian team, and I think probably to everybody around the world in terms of who watches women's football, that she wasn't right up there when it came to FIFA Women's World Player of the Year.
Yeah, I think everyone was probably a bit surprised after the year she had. She's an amazing, amazing player. I think she's one of the, if not the best in the world, and I think that she's never really even, people haven't even really known about her because we've never been able to get it that far in a tournament. So she's never had the exposure that some of the other teams or players on the best teams in the world have had. So maybe that's why, I don't know, it was a big surprise for us, but she's the best player in the world in all of our minds.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think that most people you ask right now, especially after what we saw from her in the Olympics, is that she is right up there with the best, if not the best in the world right now. Absolute travesty that she didn't make that FIFA Women's World Player of the Year shortlist. Right, the next one is from a familiar name, Jim Fishlock, who wants to know, Jessica, who do you model your game on?
Yes, my brother.
Oh, your brother.
Who do I what?
Who do you model your game on? I think he's hoping secretly it's him.
Who do I model my game on? I wouldn't say really that I model my game on anyone in particular, but I think that there's players that I just love, that I used to love to watch, and I think I got probably a mixture of their games. My idol is Cantona, so it goes to no surprise there, and I love Paul Scholes. So I think, and Stevie G. So I think if you kind of, being as they're the players that I loved, I suppose, you know, they're midfield, I'm midfield, maybe my games, I do put it around them without even realising it. But they're definitely the players who I've watched so much growing up to try and understand the game a little bit better. So thank you, James. And P.S., get a life.
So Paul Scholes picks up a lot of bookings. You pick up a lot of bookings. I can.
Oh, there we go. I would just like to say I tackle better than Scholesy.
And that's I think quite a good point there, Jess. Actually, do you think that so far from what you've seen over in America, do you think the game potentially not quite as physical as you have been used to here in the WSL? Do you think that a couple of those yellow cards are a bit harsh?
Well, I definitely think the yellow cards have been harsh, but this league here is so fast and so tough that the English league, like, it's like a non-contact sport.
Right.
Honestly, like over here, it's so. I think it's because it's so fast. Would you say that? Like, it's so fast that you know, you can't. You have to be more. Just make yourself noticeable. You know, it's not. You have to have a presence more than you do back home, because whenever you get the ball, or even if you go and tackle, it has to be like at 100 miles an hour, because otherwise you're too slow. You're not there fast enough. There's not enough pressure. And so, you know, it's physical here, but, you know, I wouldn't say it was a lot more physical than back home, but it's definitely not less physical than back home. Like, it's not, I don't think that back home is any more physical. It's kind of the same, but it's just tougher here. I think,
the pace and the intensity of the football from what I've seen so far definitely looks a lot more. Just wondered why those a few harsh yellow cards early on. Maybe
I'll say one was harsh, one was an absolute
stonewaller. Right, okay, let's fire on a few more of these questions. Next one wants to know, how is the international house settling in, and if you could take one thing from home, both from Wales and Canada, to import to America, what would it be? What you miss the most from home?
Well, first of all, our international house is great, from my personal opinion of it anyway. Occasionally, two Canadians can get a bit much. However,
you mean when we cook?
They get their own time when they go and get their hair done and their extensions and their nails. So I get my own time then. But no, the international house is great. So I'm very thankful that these girls have put up with me as much as they have.
Yeah, we love our little adopted child, as we like to call her, our adopted Welshie child. I think it's a really good dynamic just to have her here, and we love living together. And we actually haven't even moved into our apartment until next week. It's being renovated right now, so we'll get back to you on that one. Yeah.
And one thing from home.
From home.
This is a big question.
Maybe some Canadian maple syrup.
Ooh, good
I love some maple syrup on my pancakes.
Good.
Other than that, everything's pretty similar. Vancouver is about 2 hours north of Seattle, so there's really not that much difference.
Jessica?
I should probably say something like Welsh cakes, but I don't really eat them, so that would be a lie. One thing I do miss massively is a cup of tea from Big Kev. Kev being my dad. He makes the best cup of teas ever, but I'm not sure I can bring him over to do that.
I feel like you don't even drink tea.
No, honestly, back home every evening, Kev, cup of tea.
Kev has to come visit.
Kev has to come just for a cup of tea.
This one has about 8 cups of coffee a day. Literally.
I'm a coffee
She goes to Starbucks. Today she went to Starbucks, ordered a drink, and then I got in line. She gets in line behind me, and I was like, is she serious? Like, what? She just ordered a drink 5 seconds ago. It wasn't good enough for her. Sometimes she orders 2 drinks at once.
Just how you roll, Jess Fishlock.
Yeah,
right.
Caffeine freak.
Last couple of questions here. I think we've already covered what Laura Harvey is like as a manager. You both talked a lot about exactly what she's brought to Seattle since joining. Question here from Hannah Brosnan to you, Jess. What was the hardest thing about leaving Bristol?
I think the hardest thing for me about leaving Bristol was that I felt that I hadn't finished my course there, if that makes any sense. I felt that we definitely had something more in us, whether that was winning something or getting the Champions League spot, and it would have been something that I would have loved to have been a part of, and would have loved to have achieved with them, given what we have achieved in the last 2 years that we've been there, and the progression that we had made at that time. So I think that was the hardest thing for me, to decide whether leaving now was the right time to do, or the right thing to do, or not. Because I think everyone can see that Bristol are a great side, and that they're moving in the right direction. And so that was difficult for me.
Good answer. And then finally, this one for you, Emily. Which player would you most likely compare yourself to?
Oh, probably Messi.
Yeah, just not a problem. Goals, technique, job.
100%.
Lionel Messi, done.
No, I think our Canadian team has been watching Barcelona a lot recently, and as center backs, we really like to. I wouldn't say I would compare myself to Puyol or Piqué by any means, but I think that's who we are really trying to emulate. So those two, second to Messi.
Second to Messi, of course. Do you agree with that, Jess Fishlock?
Absolutely, without shadow of doubt. Yeah. You should see the step overs this girl does. As she's breaking out from the defense. Unbelievable! I'm telling you.
Really,
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And then finally, we've done this with all our guests so far. This might be a bit difficult given there's two of you, but we want to know an ultimate five-a-side team from the players you've both played with from across all the teams you've ever played with. Now, we can either do five-a-side team each, or you can do a combined five-a-side team. Up to you. Last question of the afternoon before we let you go off and prepare for tonight's match. So, who wants to go first? Want to do a combined team, or do you want to do one?
We played with Seattle Reigns.
I know. You choose two, I choose two, and then we choose one together.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Good.
So,
okay.
Can we put ourselves in this five-a-side team? I'm joking.
You're more than welcome to.
Okay.
Let's see. Does it include a goalkeeper, or is that optional?
If you want to play a five-a-side game without a goalkeeper, you're more than welcome to. You give it a go. Just play out with five. Yeah, more than welcome. Go for it.
Okay.
Let's see. I'll choose Stinky for one of mine.
I'll choose Del Rio for one of mine.
Okay.
She would be perfect in a five-a-side.
Absolutely.
We need some defense.
Yeah, I guess we need some defense. No one ever wants to play defense.
Or a holding mid. Holding mid's good.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm trying to think who I played with. It's terrible.
I'll choose for a defender. I'll choose Charmaine Hooper. She was one of the stars back in the day when I first started playing for the national team, and she can play. She was a center back when I came into the national team, but she had previously been a forward, and I think she was one of the best.
So can do a job up front if needed.
Yeah.
Okay, so a holding mid. I'm going to go with a holding mid. I'm going to go with...
Tough decision.
It is.
There's so many to choose from.
It is. I'm probably going to go with Daphne Costa, who I played with when I was in Holland. The Dutch captain.
Oh, yeah. She was center back.
Yeah,
right?
But she played. I played with her as she was my holding mid. She'd be good.
She's got some good hair too.
Yeah, she's got some great hair.
Yeah.
Great hair. Yeah, good barnet. Right. Okay. Finally, your fifth pick. You can. I think.
Go with the keeper, or are we just going to go?
Do we have to go with the keeper?
No, I don't.
No.
Let's go with that kind of midfield.
Unless we go with one keeper, her name's Siobhan Chamberlain.
Oh, we could go with Sayo. Sayo wouldn't be a bad
We've
child.
both played with her.
We've both played with her, and she's
great.
not bad.
Her accent needs a little bit of work, in my personal
bad.
opinion. But
she needs to stop wearing pink jackets, hoodies as well.
I think you're right to go with without the goalkeeper myself, but there we go. So there's your five-a-side team. We'll put that up alongside all the other five-a-side teams that we've had people pick so far. I think that one could be the best so far, to be honest. I think that's got
Feel good about it.
Good balance to it. Well, both of you, thank you ever so much for joining us and taking your time out from this afternoon. What's the time over there at the moment? Where are we in terms of countdown to kick-off?
4 hours.
4
till
hours.
kickoff.
4 hours till kickoff. Best of luck in that home opener tonight. Some of us will be trying to stay awake long enough to watch the first half at least. I have to admit, I think I've watched every single one of your games so far, although I've never made it past about 35 minutes. So I'm going to try my best. I am going to try my best to stay up, although 4 a.m. might be it's a bit of a tough ask. Before you go,
you can watch it on replay. Just so you know.
Just so you know.
But we love the dedication.
Yeah, and we love the tweets.
It's not as good on replay, is it? And we are absolutely loving the commentary. I think that's the one thing that English football is missing is the American commentary. We've had some
comedy hour.
I do think though that like it is quite fun. Like sometimes you get a bit bored of the normal, oh, left back, yes, she's an international, yes, moving on. So I quite like it.
It is entertaining, I'll say that much.
No, genuinely. I think if anybody's watching this and you haven't yet watched the girls in action, then not only is, as Jess said, the intensity, the quality, absolutely right up there in terms of the best in the world that I've seen. Top quality, world-class players, great stadiums, great pitches, fantastic crowds. If there's one other thing that you're looking for, it is the commentary is absolutely fantastic. Nowhere else would you hear the phrase bingo bongo goal line action. I mean, you're never getting that anywhere else in world football.
Did they actually say that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've had I think bingo bongo goal line action. The defenders attacking the real estate. We've had
the real estate.
We've had.
Classic. I've heard that one.
We like that one. So I think on that note, we'd like to thank you both. Wish you best of luck for tonight's game. Before you go, quick prediction of tonight's game, please, ladies.
Okay, I'm going to go with 2-1 Seattle Reign.
2-1 Seattle Reign.
I'm going to go with 1-0, so yeah, Seattle Reign.
Oh, shutout.
Going for the shutout, yeah.
Going for a shutout. On that note, thank you very much to the pair of you. Go off and enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch up with you sooner rather than later. Thanks once again, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.